to the DFL Breakdown, presented by GrizLeeGear, with your hosts, Lucas Ford and Ricky Epperson.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the DFL Breakdown, the #1 cartoon side character themed, league-specific, weekly fantasy football podcast in the world. It's Lucas Ford, it's Ricky Epperson. We're back at it midway through the season, and it was an exciting one this week. We had a super late Monday night game that had huge consequences in the dome that we were all kind of waiting to see exactly what happened with. Some of us fell asleep halfway through it, but for those that didn't, it was exciting all the way through. And Ricky's here to tell you more about it. Ricky, how was your week? How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Yeah, those games were late. Doubleheader on Monday night. I know I am co-host with a Garfield over here. He doesn't like Mondays, never has. This Monday was no different. I'm good. The sorcerers are good, and that's all I really look for right now. I just want to make sure the sorcerers are okay. So yeah, it's a good week. Halfway point, the middle of the regular season. This is where everything can, you have to get it right from here on out. I feel like the first half, figure yourself out, find your footing. From here on out, you have to be, your pencil better be sharp.
Yeah, it's, at this point, I think I said it earlier today to a few of us. We're halfway through the fantasy season. We're coming into week 8. It's time to start letting go of our preconceptions and seasons past, and say, well, before we got a lot to work with here. We got 7 weeks of football. We're really starting to see what teams are doing. Obviously, after the bye week, some things may change for some teams, but we're really starting to see what players are made of, and your team should really be reaching their final form sooner rather than later. We're coming up on the trade deadline, and we had a few trades this week that impacted the final turnout here. So plenty to talk about here, and a lot of exciting stuff. So why don't we get right into the game breaker, and we can talk a little more about exactly how that all went down.
I'm coming! Here I come! Game Breaker.
All right, we get a little spoiler on one of the trades here, but Ricky, you're in here twice on the Game Breaker of the week with Christian McCaffrey, and also the tight end of the week with Trey McBride, who was newly acquired by you here. Tell us a little bit about what's happening with these guys.
Yeah, hey, I love those guys. Hey, that guy wasn't on my team last week. Yeah, so we'll start with Trey McBride before I get too excited about Christian McCaffrey. But yeah, Leemon was looking to, I guess, move on from tight end. He needed more wide receiver stuff, so he, Brian Thomas for Trey McBride, couple of running backs in there. It was Woody Marks and, oh boy, now I'm gonna blank who I sent away. Oh, it was Brian Thomas and, oh no. We'll talk about it more later. Anyway, Trey McBride comes over. I'm thinking Brian Thomas, Trey McBride. Trey's been so consistent, and Brian Thomas, that's all I want from him is consistency. So had to hit accept. And then he just kind of popped off with Jacoby Brissett from behind center. Distributed him the ball. He scored touchdowns. He was great, but not as great as Christian McCaffrey, who is just, I love the man. I mean, he's awesome. So I just look at him and I smile every time. I think I'm catching feelings. I don't know what to say. Got a huge man crush on Christian McCaffrey because he just week in, week out touches the ball 30 plus times and is effective with it. His run game was actually good this week. Kittle came back and they said, yeah, now we have Kittle. Christian McCaffrey can run now. And that opens up the passing game for him too and everything else. And feels good.
We have Kittle, great. It just makes Christian McCaffrey more effective. He's just their whole game plan, and every player is an instrumental piece of making Christian McCaffrey score you more fantasy points every week. It's hard
That's
not to
right.
love what he's doing there.
That's right.
So he's the game breaker. He's been going nuts this year. It's just a battle between him and Jonathan Taylor for the number one running back on the year. Jonathan Taylor had another excellent week, but we'll talk about
Is
that
losing.
as well.
Number 2.
Yeah, and before we move on from this screen as well, we'll talk about him, but Jamar Chase was right there, close to being part of that game breaker, and obviously part of a big win for Dylan on the week, who scored the most there. So definitely worth a shout out. And finally, we can see that Leemon has retaken the Kaka PP's mantle and scored the lowest amount of points in the league this week, 76 points. It's 2 weeks in a row of him not reaching the 100-point mark. Especially depressing this year with how high the scoring has been.
And for those of you with good memory here, the Dylan Leemon match is actually just right here on the screen. I don't think we've ever had a best and worst team play each other like this, but this is probably the biggest blowout maybe in history here. 182 to 76.76. We'll get into the details later, but huge bounce back week from Dylan and Leemon. Yeah, he's got to put the crown back on because 76. It's bad. Traded away Trey McBride and instantly felt it. Not that Trey McBride was going to save him, but
yeah,
maybe he's a locker room guy. I don't know. But Dylan figured something out. Leemon needs to figure something out, and yeah, let's get into the breakdown.
Yeah, let's get into that score summary here, and we can get to your matchup with your game breaker here, and then right into that one as well. Let's just get straight to it.
Score summary.
Right, yeah, it's the Sorcerers taking down the Retardinals in some would say upset matchup, with the lower seed coming out on top. A clean 2-0 win and an 0-2 loss for Sal on this one. He had some underperformers for sure, only barely scratching 100 points, especially with the injury to Puka Nakua keeping him off. Part of that dynamic duo that's been carrying him, Jackson Smith and Jigba and Puka Nakua were his two mainstays in his hot streak in the beginning of the season. And without Puka, he's starting to show the cracks a little. Sam Darnold only scoring 10, Genty only scoring 4, Bill only scoring 4, and Ted only scoring 6. A lot of disappointment for him on that side. Now, Ricky, you got 167 points on this one, despite Jaden Daniels being pulled due to injury in a loss to Dallas. How'd that all come together for you?
Well, I mean, I kind of started off real hot. T. Higgins was a late start for me. I don't even think he was in my lineup during our last episode here, but it was right before the game. I wanted someone playing. I felt like, Flacco gets it together here. Yeah, he does something. I didn't even think he was going to get 21 points, but I thought he was good for like 13, 14 points here. So started off with a bang, and on the other side of that, Sal had Herbig starting, and he only put up like 2.5 points. I mean, the Steelers were supposed to crush the Bengals here, make their offense look bad with Joe Flacco and their bad O-line, and they simply couldn't do it. They really couldn't even hold them back. They lost. But yeah, big start off with T. Higgins there, and then I had some early game slots as well, with Devontae Adams getting 3 1-yard touchdowns thrown to him. Trey McBride, like I said, came online and instantly was catching multiple touchdowns. I capped off the week with Christian McCaffrey, and it felt great. But on the other side of the Sal's running backs ran into buzzsaws. I mean, Gene into KC, that's tough. Bill into Dallas should have been really good. I don't know what happened there. I'm not a Bill owner. I haven't really dissected just why it was so bad. Because Jane Daniels was moving the ball around. He was doing all right, just wasn't on the ground. And then I think he flexed an RB as well.
Yeah, Chuba.
Chuba Hubbard he split the touches with Rico. He actually slightly lost that, and Rashad White down there. So he went quad running back, and all of them were sub 10. Rashad White into Detroit's tough. So just nothing really getting going for him. It felt pretty secure. I mean, I have a 0 there from JMO, and you really don't even feel it because the rest of the roster did the work. I mean, I have 7 touchdowns there,
Yeah.
just in like the meat and potatoes.
Big
So
pop-off week from Christian McCaffrey at
huge.
39. We had the 21.6 from T. Higgins, 26.5 from Devontae Adams, and 29.4 for Trey McBride. That is a whole team worth of production right there, putting up over 100
Oh
points
yeah,
between those 4 players alone. So um, everything
Jaden
else
didn't
was
even
just
break
icing
20.
on the cake. That's incredible. Even if Kamara's having an off week, even if your quarterback gets pulled, all that doesn't matter at all
From my
because
IDPs. Yeah.
you beat him with the middle there. So big week for the Sorcerers and a nice win, like we were saying, good 2-0 win, and this is definitely propelling you at 9-5 up towards the top. Top tier of the league here. We'll see if you can hang on to it in the second half. Where Sal is still above you, but showing signs to slip here, and we'll get into it next week. But he's already showing that he's got a lot of week 8 buys here, so that's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Okay, we teased the Dylan and Leemon matchup, so we have to talk about it. The super blowout here, and featuring the
Waiver Warrior.
Joe Flacco late pickup from Dylan. We talked him into it on the pod. We told him that he should do it, and he went out and did it, and it paid off huge for him. 32 points out of Joe Flacco in that Thursday night matchup. Stacking him with Jamar Chase, getting 38 points on 23 targets. Just an insane game from them, breaking all expectations and putting up 70 points between the two of them. Just absolutely crazy stuff there.
It certainly set the tone here. I mean, just Thursday night game. Leeman's looking at 72 points across from him. He didn't even put up 70. He put up 76 on the week. I think there might have even been a third guy in there that Dylan had going for some reason. I can't remember if it was. I guess not. Guess I'm just losing it, guys. Sorry.
Oh, it's Jonnu Smith.
It was Jonnu Smith.
Yeah, and he scored
So
11.8.
right. So Dylan outproduced Leemon Thursday night, and the rest of it is just, icing on top. We told him to play Joe Flacco. He looks like a stud, 32 points in there. But in actuality, there's Bo Nix and Jackson Dart on the roster here, and I think both of them were technically better starts than Joe Flacco. But
That
Joe
is
Flacco
true.
he felt better there, and it's something about sending a statement. I need one game and 3 players to mop you up, Leemon. And Quinshon Judkins and his 3 touchdowns, not even remotely necessary. Got up to the median, scored the most points on the week, made a statement for sure. And on the other side of it, I mean, I don't know. Leeman's soul was probably crushed the moment he got here. They actually traded mid head-to-head too. Josh Jacobs trading sides here, as well as Cortland Sutton and Emeka Egbuka on Dylan's side. So Sutton got the start. Josh Jacobs got the start for Leemon. And then Emeka did not stay injured long. He played. He didn't do much, but he rode Dylan's spine, and
12
he'll have him
targets.
next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like you said, that trade was huge here. Josh Jacobs being one of the higher picks in the draft, being shuffled around in this one, and still putting up good numbers. One of the only things that Leemon can be happy about on this week, but it definitely burns to see to see everybody else shine on the other side there. Have Trey McBride do well for you and put up a 75-point week like this here, 76 points. So
Yeah.
that's definitely rough for him. These guys came into this matchup 5-7 apiece, and have definitely split away from each other here with the 2-0 win for Dylan and the 0-2 for Leemon. And this is starting to be, like we said, we're halfway through now, so he's gonna have to turn that around if he wants to get serious with this, and he's hoping Brian Thomas is gonna do stuff for him, but it's coming into his bye week, and he might have got injured in that game, so we'll see.
It's another 4-game swing here, and mine with Sal doesn't feel as crazy because Sal's coming down from 11-1 to 11-3, but going 5-7 and then splitting 4 games either way. I mean, Dylan and Leemon aren't even in the same boat anymore, remotely.
Yep, and that is tough to come back from here. Well, let's talk about. Let's see here. We already kind of got down this way. Why don't we start at the bottom and go up from here? Let's talk about the Apple Bottom DeJeans versus the Tampa Trap House. This was the 6th place score here, 143.96. So barely got the 2-0 win, did Chris on this one. Corey taking home the 0-2 loss, of course, that means. And it wasn't because of Drake May. Drake May put up 27 points, looked awesome in that game versus Tennessee. I mean, you can discount Tennessee all you want, but this is exactly what you want to see out of your quarterback versus the bad teams. And he's definitely doing it there. Cam Scatabo, even in a terrible matchup versus Denver, just showed that he's dependable. You can just start that guy every week. Seems to be awesome. And other than that, a lot of disappointment here. 1.8 point at a Kareem Hunt. Only 8.4 at a Travis Kelce. 8 points for Rashid Shaheed. That's the 4-reception machine. 4 receptions every week, no matter what. That's what he's getting you. And didn't get a touchdown on one of them this time. So disappointment.
The yards and touchdown are a gamble, but he's getting four catches.
Really is crazy consistent. Other than week 1 where he got 6, it's 4. It's just 4.
His yards per target down there, 4.44. Is that what that says?
Looks like it.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, not enough for Corey there. Only 112 points here. H.N. did everything he could there, but God, the Dolphins look terrible.
Oh man, that was so rough.
Blown out by Cleveland.
Chris had a piece of it on the other side, right? He had Jalen Waddle going, and Jalen Waddle, who's been looking like the breakout kind of, not breakout, the lead elite kind of wide receiver for the group here. He was starting to do it. Hill goes down, and Waddle's there to just take all of the, volume and stuff like that. But in a game like that, they both struggled pretty hard. But yeah, we talked about how Corey was going to have 2 Chiefs going and how he was hoping that they both got touchdowns. Neither of them find pay dirt here. And it's a recipe for failure. I mean, Justin Jefferson, pedestrian, right? It's a waiver guy level thing. It's a good floor.
Ouch.
That's his floor.
Yeah.
But it's not the 30 points you sign up for. And then DK Metcalf, I mean, there was 4 touchdowns thrown in that game by Aaron Rodgers. And the tight ends just had a field day, and DK Metcalf had none of it. Just 3 for 50. It's weird usage for him. I don't know if it's prescriptive of what's to come, but I'd be a little worried about DK at this point.
I mean, it's an Arthur Smith offense, and Aaron Rodgers is known for spreading the ball around, so he's probably just going to continue to do that. I think it is a little prescriptive, but DK is known to find those targets in the end zone. I wouldn't be surprised if one of the 2 that he missed here was an end zone target. If he goes 4 for 5 for 55 and a touchdown, it's a completely different day for him. But anyway, we can talk about ifs, ands, buts, and maybes all day, but we can talk about what happened here for the Tampa Trap House instead. They came away with a screaming W. Dak Prescott has been on fire the last 2 weeks, scoring 28 points here. Hasn't thrown an interception in the last couple weeks. 3 touchdowns. Just lit it up with the return of CeeDee Lamb. That's great for Cowboys fans and Dak Prescott owners to see everywhere. And also CeeDee Lamb, of course, just being valuable as well. Bijan Robinson, this was on Monday, I believe, 21.2 points for him. Or no, it was late. It was the Sunday night football game, I believe that one was.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Yeah, it was the running back off.
Bijan,
Bijan
yeah,
versus Tennessee.
he looks like the only thing that just truly works on that offense. I just don't trust Penix at all, and it's hard to, and he puts performances in like this, in that loss to San Francisco, whose defense isn't as formidable as it's been in years past. Like, that's a beatable team right now, and the Falcons.
I mean, their defense was overperforming. I mean, that's all the cast wanted to talk about is how, they took these guys. It's what's his name's there, the defensive coordinator, right? Saleh.
Yeah, Robert Saleh.
Yeah, and so they're talking all about how he's just a lump of clay basically that he's forged into, this defense. And I mean, the Falcons are just kind of boom or bust altogether, and it does depend on
It's
how Penix is
crazy.
doing. Maybe he finds some regularity as he goes through the season here. I know he got banged up a little bit in this game. The protection wasn't there enough for him. So if he can stay not banged up and stay accurate, he was rattled by the end of the game, just throwing errant balls left and right. So,
Yeah.
but hey, Bijan's good for it. Always will be.
Yeah. Bless you.
Excuse me, I couldn't find my mute button in time.
Well, other than that, he had great games. He had another great game from Lad McConkey, who's been kind of turning it on as we enter the middle of the season here. Wan'Dale Robinson, he's always been a volume hog, and he continues to do that. And it's cool to see him get the recognition that he deserves, at least this year, because these targets are actually more catchable, because this guy just is open and demands targets all the time. So pretty cool to see there. Speaking of demanding targets, Ferguson getting 2 touchdowns on 7 receptions, continues to be Dak's favorite target.
That's a sneaky stack.
Yeah, the Dak Fergie stack, pretty great for Chris so far this year. Yeah, besides the Waddle underperformance, he flexed Kraft there at the double tight end going, and it was a good decision for him there. So good win for Chris. Needed every single point that he got, because I was right on his heels there. Why don't we just talk about that one next here? 0-2 for Corey there, and 2-0 for Chris, putting him at 7-5-2, which is functionally 8-6, and Corey at 6-8. Yeah, let's talk about why I know exactly where the median was, because I was right behind it here. I finished my game Sunday and then just had to watch Sunday night and wait for Bijan to just blow my median chances, and he got there. He just got there, beat me by a point and some change there, and even though I got the win in my matchup against Eric, it was a 1-1 win, meaning it was the
Wet Noodle Fight of the Week.
unfortunate wet noodle fight of the week here. I can at least take one win home. I wanted anything at a Caleb Williams for my bye week with Josh Allen not being here, and got 2.6 points out of him. He had 2 fumbles early, threw an int, didn't run in a touchdown, didn't throw any touchdowns. They won that game, and he was absolutely terrible. Yep, so that hurt, and definitely cost me this week. I also, got a little overzealous on that Bengals matchup from Thursday that we thought was just going to be a cinch for the Steelers. Ended up not being a cinch, and ended up not being Kenneth Gainwell's game, putting up only 3.5. So that hurts that, Marv got benched for that.
Marv was
Definitely
still
hurts as
questionable
well.
though, going into it,
He
right?
was questionable, but I've started RJ Harvey the last 2 weeks. I had no plans on putting
RJ's
Kenny
best
G
game of
in.
the year, though, right?
No, he said weeks. He said weeks.
Oh,
He
yeah,
had a
he had a
24
week.
week.
We
But anyway, again, we can talk ifs, ands, buts, and maybes all night. But the
the other
the the
side here.
reality is, I got some great points out of Keenan Allen, out of Jordan Addison. Travis Hunter had his breakout week, and boy, did he! I mean, 14 targets with a touchdown and over 100 yards. He even defended a pass against Devontae Adams on defense. Like, he did it all and looked great doing it, and it was the only good part of their team
Hmm.
all day. Everything else sucked. Literally everything else sucked, and he was the only, like, 7 points for the Jags against the Rams, and they were his. He got those. Like,
Yeah.
it's just they had nothing else going on, and they're going into their bye week here. I hope they come out of it figuring out that, hey, maybe we should give this guy the ball more, because that would be good. That would be really good and cool.
It would be good.
Good
Um,
for me.
Very good for you. No, I think this is promising for the Hogs here. I do think that you get Josh Allen back, a Josh Allen with this roster, and all of a sudden you're pressing the 160s, 170s pretty easily, right?
Josh Allen there, Derrick Henry here. Things are
Yeah.
good, you know?
Yeah, things are good. On the other side of it here, we have Eric. He has Patrick Mahomes at the helm here, who has been playing excellent. I mean, this isn't even a full game from Patrick Mahomes. They got pulled because they were 31-0, like what, going into the third quarter, and that's how the game ended too.
This
Even
game was
after you pull
silly.
your starters, it, Vegas sucks. Anyway, he looked kind of dead in the water and came back a lot, a lot closer than I really thought he was going to be able to with the 130. I'm obviously never counting him out, but I thought realistically he was probably hanging around like 115 this week. But yeah, great game from Patrick Mahomes. Saquon Barkley, a little underperforming against Minnesota. Um, just hasn't looked super dominant this year. Not game scripted in. It was a Devonta Smith, AJ Brown game. They attacked them through the air. Tony Pollard did fine. Drake London, again, we go back to Michael Penix. It's a hit or miss. Drake London's good for 28 points or 8. And there's not really a good in between. Pittman, Otten, great plays this week. That Chargers Colts game was fireworks the whole way through, and Pittman was a big part of that. Cooper Kupp started off hot with a 32-yard reception in like the first drive, and looked like he could be part of the game script there. But then the cast just started talking about how, he's basically a locker room guy and he's making JSN better. It's like the George Kittle of the Seahawks. Um, but yeah, nothing else really doing here as we go down to the bottom of Eric's team. DJ Moore, Zach Bond, kind of whatever. Tyke Smith was kind of the reason why he excelled further than I thought. The 20 points out of him, and the good Otten performance was not expected here. I kept on thinking about how you said Tyke and Tyke, and it messes with him. He's always looking over, and I thought about all game as he was getting called out for being
He was doing
great
it.
on
I
the
guarantee you that Tyke was playing ARAM and going like, "Oh, there I am!" Like, I'm telling you, that's
13
exactly what he
tackles.
does.
Damn.
And yeah, it was a great week for Tyke Smith. So unfortunate that couldn't get it done for him there, but yeah, he's now at the bottom of the leaderboard here at 2-10-2, and it's a rough first half for the Bower of London, who's been without their namesake Brock Bowers for quite a few weeks now, and that could be a big reason why. All right, I don't want to skip this bottom one here. Talk about bottom tier teams here. We had a face off between Team Lord Joe Biden and Better Off Gooning, formerly Basketball Americans. He's now Better Off Gooning. That's Riley versus Nate down here. And it was a poor week for Riley, but a great one for Team Lord Joe Biden. Nate absolutely popped off here. 166.9 points, 30 out of Jalen Hurts, 37 out of Gibbs. Got 24 points out of Rashee Rice in his return to action here. Even Ramondre Stevenson was good for him with 17 points, and he got 23 out of Brian Burns in his IDP there. So a lot of good stuff for him. Mike Evans unfortunately broke his collarbone, is going to be done for the rest of our fantasy season here. RIP Mike Evans and his 1,000-yard streak, but other than that, a lot of really good stuff that you're excited about if you're Nate on this one and you're hoping that you get more games like this moving forward. Riley on the other side, though, just only 91 points. It all went wrong for him. You know, you can see Jahmyr Gibbs putting up the 37 for Nate and only 6 points for David Montgomery on the other side. That Sonic and Knuckles duo there not really being very fair with the division of points on that one, and that definitely hurt Riley here. George Pickens having less of an explosive week with the return of CD Lamb there. You're hoping that that's not prescriptive of things to come if you're Riley here, because you want to see more of those games. But I'm sure he'll catch a touchdown again moving forward. It's not like he's only going to have 4 receptions for the rest of the year there.
He's still making highlight catches on the on the boundaries and everything. He looks good. So.
Yeah, looks great. Darren Waller was questionable coming into this game here. The game started. I think he was out there and I think he ran a few plays, maybe did some blocking and came out of the game. And now has been put on the IR. He didn't have a single route or target. And did nothing for Riley there, so a big fat goose egg, and now has been placed on IR, so Riley went ahead and dropped him here. He was all excited to have him a few weeks ago, and now he's nothing again. Comes in, catches a few touchdowns, a few hot weeks, and then bye-bye Waller. Crazy stuff there. 0 out of Kittle, too. I mean, man, the double tight end start was so great for other people this week, was just doubly brutal for Riley here. Surely you're not hanging your head too sad on 91 points with 2 goose eggs. Like, you have even decent weeks there, and you're at least getting closer to it. It was rough for a few reasons. He made the good play by picking up Marcus Jones. The process was good here. It didn't end up working out for him.
Yeah, no, I like the process here too. Chris Moore was even like a decent pickup. He could have done more with Washington as well. 2 of 5 against Dallas. I think that's in large part the Jane Daniels going down as well. Maybe, they scrape together some more stuff. But if you're gonna have a down week, it might as well be when you're playing against a 166 opponent who is showing no signs of slowing down. It was a Gibbs game through and through. I mean, the rest of Detroit really didn't do much. I think Amon got away with like a 20-point game or something like that, but the entire offense ran through Jahmyr Gibbs. Knuckles is like a tertiary character. If you're not familiar with the franchise, it's like Sonic and then his best friend Tails sometimes, and then like in the real deep spin-off games, then you start seeing Knuckles, and that's kind of what it felt like here. He's a side character.
Spin-off games is Sonic and Knuckles, bro. He's a title character.
Yeah, spin-off game.
Nah. But anyway, you can't get too sidetracked by Sonic games.
Listen here, you.
I'm not really the person to argue with about that anyway, because I'm not really a Sonic head, so I wouldn't be able to argue with you on.
Oh, you didn't own a Sega? All right, we won't get too far into it. Anyway, Lord Biden, he's up to 3-11 now. I haven't looked at the points for. I don't think that he's escaped 12th place, even with the 166, right? Or maybe he has because Eric is 2-10-2. But the points for is still like a whole 150 points off. So
Yeah.
Eric's still well in the lead there for last place, or 11th place, really. Um, but Riley doing his best to try to get down there and meet them at the bottom with the 5-9
Yeah,
coming in at 10.
he's at 5-9 here with the 0-2 on that one. And then yeah, moving up to 3-11 for Nate there. All right, let's see. We already hit these ones. Let's talk about our last matchup of last week here. It's the 69ers versus the Sleepers. This was a double median win for these guys here. Artie also got his in that late night game, or it was the Monday night 7 o'clock game, so not late. But that Lions game versus the Bucks did manage to get there with Goff and Amon-Ra St. Brown
Nico.
and Nico in that 10 o'clock game. Got what he needed, and not really much else there. So he at least got the median win on that one, and Alex gets the 2-0 with a 158-point performance, tying them and Sal all at 11-3. We'll talk about the standings after this matchup here, but things are definitely getting close there. Alex riding that Colts wagon, looking like all the way to the playoffs, man. I don't know why you'd take them out for anything at this point. They look super legit. Jonathan Taylor has been crazy good. 3 touchdowns, and 26 points for Daniel Jones too. So just huge there. CeeDee Lamb gets plugged straight back in. That was great for him. AJ Brown, who got in the trade earlier in the year, putting up 28 for him as well. He even picked up Dodson here, and who put up 13.5 in his IDP slot, got a sack for him. And even though TJ Watt didn't quite perform up to expectation, almost everything else was great for him. So big win week for Alex, now propelling him up to the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah. No, it's big battle of the Titans up here. Alex definitely got enough. On the other side, Artie's looking at a Jared Goff who put up 12.34 points because everything, again, ran through Gibbs. He even got that big 78-yard just rushing touchdown. Wasn't a pass play. A little shovel pass there. That's what Patrick Mahomes does. He shovel passes everything so he can get those stats recorded. And then DeAndre Swift down here, the Bears ran the ball 40 times, which is part of the reason why Caleb Williams only put up 2.5 points, right? And it's because DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monangai ran 40 times and just crushed New Orleans like that. Part of the game script there. And Artie needed everything that he had to get over the median there. Like you said, not too much else to say about it. Kind of people expected, playing as they expected. Chris Olave with a big week. Again, he continues to, I guess this time it wasn't even a PPR scam. He touchdown scammed his way to 26 points. And then
Is it a
big
scam?
Mike Parsons week.
Our touchdown's a scam.
Touchdown scam. I mean, do you think Devontae Adams didn't touchdown scam his way to like 28 points with 3 1-yard touchdowns?
I mean, you got to put your foot down somewhere. That's exactly what that's not a scam. It's if you're just winning. Like, oh, you didn't beat me in hockey. You just goal spammed me. Like, what does that mean?
No. Well, I mean, they say PPR scam, but like that's what you draft the players on. You're like, oh, this guy's gonna get 10 targets a game. That's the stat that sticks, or stickier than touchdowns. That's that's a hit or miss thing. So I don't know. I think the touchdowns are much harder to predict. You kind of luck yourself into them. The players don't luck themselves into them, but the managers do, in my opinion. But anyway, Chris Olave, big week. Micah Parsons, 3 sacks, which is one more than all the other sacks he's had this year. He just tore Jacoby Brissett up. Hit him 5 times, I guess. That's crazy. And yeah, I mean, he needed all of Micah Parsons there too. Not much else to say about it. 11-3. Cosby stops the slide. They wake up. They only lose 1 here, so it's 3 losses and 1 win in the past 2 weeks. And Alex improves to 11-3. and improves to first place overall by .06 points.
Yeah, let's talk about those standings here because it definitely did get close there. Alex did move into first place, like you were talking about, just by barely anything for those points, .06, like you mentioned. Now he is in first. Sal is in second, very close behind, all at 11 and 3 there, with Artie, who's behind them by about 60 points in points scored, but still at the same record. You're right behind those guys, kind of in between the two groups here in fourth place at 9 and 5. We've got Chris at 8 and 6 in fifth place. We've got Dylan in sixth place at 7 and 7. At our 500 score, he's at our sixth place. So that kind of seems fitting. It makes a lot of sense here. We've got Corey at 6 and 8, right behind him in seventh place, and then a big group of 5 and 9 teams, headed off by the Dimsdale Ball Hogs, myself at 5 and 9 in eighth place, and then Leemon a good 60 points behind me exactly. Actually, that's pretty peculiar. 60 points behind Leemon in ninth place at 5 and 9 as well, and then Riley. Another, 52 points behind that, is in 10th place there, but still at 5 and 9. We've got Team Lord Joe Biden at 3 and 11, and we've got the Bower of London also at 3 and 11 at the bottom here. And yes, it is Team Lord Joe Biden in 12th place, despite the standings saying otherwise. Jeez. Eric has scored almost 150 more points than Nate
No,
this season.
Eric's points for are up with the top half here. He's been getting the full Lucas Ford experience down there. So 3 and 11, right? It's still anyone's season. I know I've probably said it already 3 or 4 times. I feel like it's pertinent now. I won't bring it up too much again unless someone starts making a run here. But in a couple years back, 3 and 11, that was me. I race my way back up. It's improbable, but it happens. I think I finished 15-13. You can do it, guys. You can just start winning and never stop. It could just happen. And so don't give up hope until you're like 3 and 15. Then you can give up hope. Still set your lineups, but get ready for next year.
Yeah, that's kind of you need to basically at least go even to get into the playoffs, and because of the median, there's 28 matches that we go through before playoffs are decided. So if you get 14, if you get 15 in either column, that's where you're going. 15 in the win column, you're going up. 15 in the L column, you are going down. So it's not quite over for you guys all the way at the bottom here, like we were saying, but you definitely don't have a lot more chances to fuck around and find out
No
here,
more
because it is go time for sure here. So let's take a look at how people are changing up their team and how they're preparing for the rest of the season here, and get into our waiver wire and trade segment and see how things are shaking up.
Waiver wire and trades.
Okay, I just want to start right with it because you already mentioned his name. Kyle Manungai was a hot pickup this week, because he got a ton of volume, like we were talking about in that Bears game. Leemon ended up grabbing him, but I know he was claimed by, I believe it was, what was it, Riley and Nate, or you were also in there. So yeah, there was definitely those 3 claims on that one here. I'm trying to pull up exactly who it was right now. But there was 3 claims on quite a few of these guys. Yeah, it was you, it was Riley, and it was Leemon. But Leemon came away with Kyle Manungai. Riley, geez, I think he made a claim on a few of these guys and didn't end up getting him. Brashard Smith, you got him, but Riley and Leemon put claims in on those
Hmm.
guys, and Nate put a claim in on Alec Pierce. You wanted him too, but Nate got him there. So those were the contested guys picked up on the waivers. Um,
Exactly how I had prioritized them in my Q2. Pierce, Smith, Monungai. Um, so they are falling just the way I expect them to, and I came away with Brashard there.
Hey, there you go. So you did have Smith over Monungai, but you did want Pierce over Smith if you could have gotten him there.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I just to talk about these guys briefly, I think Alec Pierce has, the potential. He's on the field with Daniel Jones, white hot offense. He's out there every play. He does run deep routes, a couple connections like that, and he's like a 6'3", really fast athlete. He's got speed, he's got size, and he's got a white hot Indiana Jones thrown to him. So that's great. Brashard Smith. He looks better than Isaiah Pacheco out there. He got more involved. He's involved in the pass game. Pass catching is one of his kind of specialties. He's attached to Patrick Mahomes. I'm in on that. And I had Monungai down a little bit below that 40 rushing attempts last week. And Monungai got about half of them, or I think it was like 13 and then a few passes himself. So, he was active, but is he getting 20 opportunities every week? I don't know. Maybe it's closer to 10 or 12. So good pickups there. A lot of IDPs here as well. I know I stopped you in the middle of your breakdown. I'll hand the reins back over to you.
No, it's fine.
Um,
I'm happy you kind of gave us some more detail on those guys and why they were hot claims this week. Yeah, like you said, there is also some IDP movement here, and there was also a ton of free agency movement, including some quarterbacks, some backup quarterback options being added to teams here. Um, but yeah, it was kind of all interspersed through the day. There was a ton of free agency movement actually, and we're just gonna kind of get into it on the projection preview here because especially scattered in with all of our chats, I'm not breaking all of that down. There was
you're not burning your waiver for him. We're not talking about him.
yeah, exactly. But there was one other waiver claim that went off. It was for Tez Johnson, who put in another good game, had another touchdown, and is kind of making a name for himself so far this season. And these three guys are the biggest Baker Mayfield fanboys that I've seen so far in my lifetime. So I'm not surprised to see them hot and bothered by one of his new weapon options here with the injuries to the other guys. And three claims in for him, but Riley coming away with the bag on Tez Johnson, MVP Tez Johnson.
That's right, MVP. Podcast exclusive secret here. I actually had a claim in for Tez Johnson. I knew it wasn't. I didn't have room on my roster afterwards, and I took it out because I'm like, I'm not going to give anyone the satisfaction of seeing that I had a claim in there and they got my guy. So I took it out. So only if you're listening to the podcast will you know. Luke, you gotta swear to secrecy.
I
Can't
won't
let
tell.
anyone else know.
I won't tell.
Do not let Riley know that he has Tez Johnson and I wanted him. But yeah, it was. He looks good. He's got opportunity. It's things are looking up for Tez MVP candidate Johnson.
Tez MVP Johnson. And we didn't mention it when we were looking at Dylan's matchup, but here's Dylan's picture. He did get to keep his points this week. Remembered to send that to us and sent it earlier on, which I'm real happy about. I almost missed it, and at the end of the week, I was kind of scheming like, ooh, maybe he'll forget again, and I'll get a median win after all of this, after all. But no, he sent his picture in, got his poop point, kept his points here, and after all the
KC.
waiver movement, it was yeah, I think this was what, Patriots cheerleader or something. No, that's Chiefs.
It looks like KC.
Casey, yeah, no, yeah, I think that's a Casey right there. We didn't look at these little graphs. We were going through it, so we can just quickly peep at the efficiency here. Dylan really had the opportunity to go nuts, but he did everything he needed to. And let's see, where the Trap House, 96% efficiency. Incredible stuff out of them.
Wow, my hat off to you, sir. They figured it out. And they got what they needed. Imagine being inefficient here when all you needed was to be two fewer points to lose, get a 2-game swing there. Ugh,
Yeah,
gross.
could never do that. All right, let's get to the projection preview here and break down our Week 8 matchups in the DFL.
Dimmadome!
Projection preview.
All right, let's get to Week 8 here and talk about some good matchups here. And this first one, it's me versus Riley, and we're both at 5-9. This is a big matchup for me, so I'm excited to talk about it. Josh Allen coming back, Derrick Henry getting put in. One of those free agency moves that I thought was kind of funny is that Riley went out and picked up Justice Hill after trading me Derrick Henry. He missed having a Ravens running back on his team here, so slapped one in from the waivers for himself, from free agency for himself here, because he had a hole at running back. I'm projected to win this one right now. There's nobody that's quite missing yet, but is he really? Did the news already just come out? He's already, okay, 4 hours ago, ruled out for Week 8. Making
Man,
other plans for
Engelbert's
Van Ginkel.
in
God,
Gingold. Holy moly.
I have been getting Ginkled all week, all year, rather, and that has been sad. But, yeah, other than that, I feel...
Kevin Neal on your bench. What's up with that, dude? You got beef with Kamara? What's going on? He's not there for long. It's going to be Marcus Jones in a second or something. No, not Marcus Jones. Spillane.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Yeah, I did pick up Neal briefly here because what's his name tore his ACL or Achilles or some crap. Kendre Miller.
Man, Kendre Miller. Yeah, I'm like, man, he was on my team last week. I should know.
Yep, and now he's gone forever, so that sucks. But yeah, Josh Allen coming back, Derrick Henry coming off the bye week here. Hopefully those guys are both strong. I have a lot of action going in this Minnesota and Charger game tonight. I thought I was going to have Ginkel going in that one as well, but I do have Keenan Allen, Jordan Addison, and Kimani Vidal going there, so hopefully they are productive for me. I want to come out strong and stay ahead and never let go here. He doesn't have anyone going super late. I think we have no Monday matchups, so
No Mondays.
That's great for me, and I really need to separate myself from Riley here. We're both at 5-9, and I need to be climbing my way back up to 500. I've been on a little bit of a skid, and it's time to fix that here. So, what do you think about this matchup?
Yeah, I mean Riley with another. Last week he was 5-7 going up against a 5-7. Now he's 5-9 going up against a 5-9. These mirror matchups, standing mirrors, you gotta win them because the wins are so important. You're taking something away from your direct opposition. Obviously, you want to win every week, but these ones feel extra important. The games really swing here in a meaningful way. I think that the Charger Minnesota game is going to be pass heavy. I don't love Kamani Vidal here, but I do love Keenan Allen and Jordan Addison. I know that the Eagles just beat Minnesota through the air. I think that the Chargers will look to do the same. Is Vidal a pass catching back?
Yeah.
Is that him? Okay, well then he might be all right. He'll be fine.
Yeah, ever since he's been getting starts, four targets, 5 targets, he gets some stuff.
Vidal. I mean, I'm sure it's bye week and stuff like that. It's got you looking at Vidal over. I mean, maybe you're RJ Harvey. It's not bye week, is it?
No,
Where's
not
Warren?
for Harvey. Warren's in.
Oh, he's flexed out.
Yeah, because he's a Sunday night game.
Flexed out. Got it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Vidal, I don't love him too much, but you got Tez Johnson on the other side. a 0-2 George Kittle for catches. He did apologize to his bettors and fantasy managers. He's like, "Sorry guys, I was slow. I'm out of shape, and I'll get you back sooner rather than later." Um, I don't know if he just has 1 week with the team and is feeling real hot up against Houston. Um, Dallas and Denver. I mean, it's kind of a big deal. Um, I think this is you all the way. Justice Hill is a funny pickup because sometimes he just drops like 28 points because he breaks off a huge run.
28.
Um,
There it is.
yeah,
Oh,
it doesn't happen often. If you go back to 2024, he's got a couple of
oh yeah.
just random bangers in there too. Sometimes it just happens. Is it going to happen against Chicago? You never know. I don't think so. Um, but yeah, I think it's you. I mean, Baker Mayfield should put up like 2.5 points because he's playing New Orleans. Um, sorry, that's the last time I swear. Um,
God.
no, this is
Come
incredibly
on.
important.
Josh
I
Allen
think Josh
versus
Allen makes a
Carolina.
difference.
Like, this is a game that Josh Allen scores 40 points in, right? Like, show me what the fuck is up, man. You know, like, come
Carolina
on.
defense is kind of spooky. They're deceptively good. Um, I mean they're like what 1 win behind Buffalo at this point. It's going to be Andy Dalton behind center for Carolina this week. Uh, I don't think Buffalo's going to take their foot off the gas because they've looked so.
Yeah.
Um,
Make a statement here.
yeah, I think they have to make a statement.
It's a 1
Um,
o'clock game, you know, just fucking go out there and slam it in.
yeah, my prediction is Hogs here. I think you guys are on different sides of the median too. I don't have a lot of faith in what Riley's got going on this week.
Here's hoping. I'll selfishly predict Hogs as well. I mean, I do have a couple people I'm buying injured. Hunter and Harrison. I mean, that is a big deal, and that's why you're seeing some other guys come in. But I feel good about my depth, and Josh Allen and Derrick Henry coming off bye makes me feel real strong right now. Addison, Keenan Allen, dependable. Fannin seems to be very dependable. Booty's been good. Excited to fire him up, and Warren's been great. So, yeah, gonna have to find another option for Ginkle. Maybe Devin Neal goes. Maybe I finally say goodbye to Mixon and put Hampton in my IR slot and pick somebody up there instead. But some moves are going to have to be made there.
Yeah, maybe I can help you consolidate, man. We'll figure it out.
Oh yeah, all right. Hey, I'm into that. We can we
Talk
can
after
talk
the
after
pod.
the show. All right. Let's just go top down here. It's going to be the 69ers versus the Bower of London. Alex projected to take this one handily, and it is one of our top teams versus one of our bottom teams. Mirrored records here, 11 and
First
3
lap.
versus 3 and 11. And yeah, it's look, I'm just going to say it now. I'm projecting the guy that's at the top of the leaderboard to beat the guy that's at the bottom. The precedent has been set, and I think Alex's team has shown to be mostly better up until this point. Eric would really have to reach back into like a 2019 Mahomes Barkley would be really good for him there. He's got
London's in
Cooper Cup
college.
on bye. So he
It's
needs to
part of it.
put like Dubs or Chubb. That's what he's
Yeah, that's
got.
tough.
Dubs or
He's got to
Chubb.
figure something out there. And you know, scramble, do the best you can to scramble here because you got to at least pull out a median here, even if you can't topple the top team. Yeah, you got to get by 1-1 here, Eric. You are out of rope. So I think his team is strong, can be strong. This is a tough matchup. I am leaning Alex here, certainly. Just looking at the matchups on the other side, Tennessee has not been like a stout defense. They've been leaky, and Indy's been hot. Since he's going to let Brees Hall run on them with Tyrod Taylor back at behind center. CeeDee Lamb's coming back. He's going to be hot. You know Eric's going to need big blow up weeks like Daquan's best game of the year. Drake London 25 points. Tony Pollard's best game of the year. That's the kind of stuff he's going to have to see in Week 8 to pull this out.
Yeah, well, and he's going to have to wait until Monday night to get it, too. Patrick Mahomes playing in that primetime game versus the Commanders. We do have some action tonight out of Quentin Johnston for Alex here. So he's hoping to get a strong start on this one, and he'll hope to hang on to it all the way through the matchups this week. Nothing else moving, I think, on his side for anything. Might see Deebo Samuel make an appearance over. No, I think all these guys are going. And he looks locked and loaded. This is a scary team, man. Hope the next time I play him, maybe it's the Colts bye or something. Ugh.
No, it's Riley, Week 11. I already looked.
what
I looked like
lucky
5
fucker.
minutes ago.
Damn.
I was like, when does... You were talking about how they're so hot, you don't know why you would ever... Until their bye week. When is that? Is that me? It's Riley, which is... You know, I think it's actually fine. I'm sure he's got 2 other quarterbacks rostered, and JT's great, but I think he could get away with Kyron Williams and his
Matt
other
Stafford,
running
yeah.
backs here. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think he'll be fine.
Jeez.
Like you said, scary team. He's got the depth. This is the kind of team that looks destined for playoffs, right? You just gotta at this point, and I'm not giving Alex any tips. He's a fantasy veteran, but this is the point where teams like this need to start forging their teams for favorable postseason matchups. Get the guys that are going to get week 16 and 17.
We'll see what he does for that, and we'll see if he takes care of business here. You know, definitely came in to this one as the strong favorite, but so did the Steelers last week. We'll see if it's another one of those sort of upsets. Anything can happen in the DFL. Anything can happen in the NFL. Let's look at your matchup next here. The Sorcerers versus Dylan and the Retarded YNs. It's Caleb Williams making an appearance. I forgot to mention, we did a little trade. I traded Caleb Williams as soon as the week was over I said, and I quote, your stinkiest diaper garbage available to your next waiver drop, anyone you don't care about. You traded me Jaden Higgins. I said, sure, I'll take it. Gave you Caleb Williams, and then I dropped Jaden Higgins on the waiver for Devin Neal. Or in free agency, rather. Look, Josh Allen's back. I was getting rid of Caleb Williams anyway. Fuck that guy. He scored me 2 points. Dying to fire. But you wanted him for your bye week here, or not bye week. You have Jaden Daniels, and he just pulled a hammy. So oh, he's in your IR spot. I'm like, where is he gone? Did you just release him? No.
Yeah. See you later, man.
So
Caleb all the way.
You've got Caleb going against Baltimore here. I wish you luck on that one. You've got him going against Joe Flacco, who's hot off of that win, and now playing against the terrible 0-7 Jets, who is a former team of his, and he's, I think, still salty about the way they treated him before he went to the Browns, and back to them, and then back to the Browns, and now where he's at now.
Because they were like, he was doing well for them, and they kept on being like, yeah, well, we're going to make Zach Wilson play, even though Flacco makes our team better.
Yep.
I hate him too, man. Fuck the Jets.
Yep, fuck the Jets. He's got Studkins going in this one here against New England. I'm sure we'll all be watching that game closely as Patriots fans here. Egbuka finally getting started on Dylan's team in a game. Dylan has been waiting for this moment for his whole life here, it seems like, and he finally gets to play Egbuka on his fantasy team. So he's excited about this one, I'm sure. He's projected to win it here, but you've been definitely exceeding your expectations. I am going to give it to Dylan on this one because you're starting Caleb Williams, and he will let you down.
Okay. I understand that, but what about now?
Now he's still projected to win, but it's closer, and you, went and picked up Roquan Smith?
I did. I just grabbed them. I was thinking about how Caleb was looking down the barrel of Roquan Smith coming off of injury and how he's probably gonna get sacked 2 or 3 times, and give me that.
All right,
Give me
well,
that.
a little live insurance policy taken out here on Caleb Williams in case he does let you down. Um, we'll see if that helps. Maybe that's just the strategy. Maybe that's just how you're supposed to do it there. But
No, not. No.
maybe
Roquan's
it isn't.
special, and Caleb is a patch job. Jaden's out this week. It's official. He's got the Baltimore matchup, like you were saying, at Baltimore. It's not friendly. But
Yeah,
we'll
this
see
is
what we can do.
divisional matchup. Yeah, it should be a game for sure. You have Jordan Mason going tonight against the Chargers here, so at least get to see some early points there. And then you have two guys going in that Sunday night game for the Packers. So nothing going Monday for you, it looks like. Nothing going Monday for Dylan. It looks like he has Gadsden
One of
going
those
tonight.
weeks.
So you guys should know, and I don't really think you got anything going besides your two guys. So, geez, Sunday night you're gonna know what you need out of your two Packers at the bottom here, and you might just be sweating it out at the end
Yeah,
there.
a Matthew Golden Sweat sounds awful.
Well, that is what's going to be happening against the Pittsburgh Steelers defense on Sunday night.
All right. Yeah, we're pro sorcerers here on this side. I'm legitimately trying to keep Dylan and Chris at arm's length here. 7-7 and 8-6, chasing my 9-5. Those are the guys I'm feeling the heat from.
I want it to be a muddy mess.
If I can pull off a 2-0 here, no. Let me separate them. Put 5 and 6 down. You do not want a mess.
I want a
All of us
mess.
being kind of better than you all together is a lot worse than
But you won't.
than
You
me
won't
just
be better
making
than
them
me.
work.
I'm coming.
All right. We
Now,
disagree on this.
if you give him a 2-0 and if you give him an 0-2 and I 2-0, then we're both at 7-9 and I can get up there.
Let me Sparta kick him down into the pit, Luke. It doesn't need to be a mud wrestling match, okay?
But those are more fun, Ricky. Those are a lot more fun.
I don't know. I think I'd rather kick Dylan into a pit. To be honest.
All right, let's talk about Leemon versus Nate. This is a matchup for the century. These two are going to have to do a lot to turn their season around, but I'm sure they got personal stakes on this one here. What was that?
I said they're best buds.
Yeah.
I mean, they're childhood friends. Dylan and I are longtime childhood friends. What else have we got going on? Is this a week 8 friendship showdown going on over here? League.
Oh, it's Chris versus Sal as well this week. So yeah, me versus
Got
Ricky.
Riley. Got Riley and
me.
Eric and Alex don't really know each other, and Corey and Alex, they're just they're along for the ride. But we got 4.
If Corey and Eric switched, it'd be all basically the two people that know each other.
That would be epic. But no, that's I feel like we haven't talked much about buys yet, and I don't want to backtrack to mine, but Dylan not dealing with a lot of buys, me dealing with plenty of week 8 buys, kind of the core of my team. All those guys that put up like 25 plus points last week, they're on bye. Devontae Adams, Trey McBride, and not JMO. Never mind. JMO put up 0. I believe he's my core, even though he's bad for me. So maybe this week will be good for me. Sorry. Back to our regularly scheduled programming. The Taka PPs and Lord Joe Biden.
It's week 8. People definitely are dealing with some buys here. Obviously Caleb Williams getting put in for you as well. We said it wasn't because of the bye; it was because of the injury to Jaden Daniels. But definitely a lot of stuff getting shuffled around for a lot of people. Brian Thomas going on bye, and Max Crosby going on bye for him here as well. So
Gibbs and Hutch on the other side.
And yeah, like you said, Hutch and Charbonnet, Gibbs, all a lot of buys in this one, leading to a much lower point total projection for these guys could be a potential wet noodle fight of the
Yeah,
week for some
this
of
is
our
a mud
lower
match.
teams. Yeah, this is where it gets messy. I'd be cool with that. They can stay low on this one. Leemon is also 5-9 still here and projected to lose. I would prefer it if he keeps it that way. Stay under 100 again, buddy. That'd be good stuff in
Yeah,
my book.
you just want Nate to stay hot. Have you played him already this year?
Yep, and I won by like 2 points.
Okay, was it like real early?
I think he's in my rematch weeks, but
Oh yeah, week 14. Stay real hot right up until the end,
yeah,
and you can crush them.
yes. Take out
No,
everyone
the
else in my path, Nate.
Giants are on bye. Anyway, wait, looking way too far ahead. Yeah, I mean, I think Nate does stay hot here. Lehman's team is all bad vibes, all around. I don't really see. I mean, maybe Odunze overproduces, but Rashi Rice is right there to go toe to toe with him. Um, Kendrick Bourne versus Alec Iomanner. I think the San Fran pass catchers are starting to come back. Kendrick Bourne's going to start diluting that. I mean, I don't even know what he did last week. I'm sure it wasn't much because it was just Christian McCaffrey show.
3.4.
Yeah, he went from 11 targets to 9 to 2. That sucks. But this is gonna be. I've got this as a wet noodle. I think Nate barely misses the median here, maybe or barely hits it, much to someone's chagrin. But yeah, I don't see Lehman crawling out of this bye week.
Yeah, it's brutal for him here. He still doesn't have Bucky Irving, doesn't have Brian Thomas, doesn't have Max Crosby. Picked up Luther Burden and Jerome Ford the last 2 weeks with his waiver ads, and isn't putting him in. He's got Calvin Austin going, who's been injured the last few weeks. He's finally starting to looking like he's going to play. Um, yeah, he's just hoping for some big
That's a
blow
hot
up weeks from
start.
these guys. Manungai getting slapped into. Ooh, is he a little cross-eyed? Ooh. Yeah, so he's going for some waiver warrior action. He's going for some hot Bears action. He really wants he's a lot of this AFC North action there. So I'm like I said, I'm giving it to Nate. I'm predicting the wet noodle fight as well, and for both our sakes, I hope that is the case here. Okay, let's talk about the sleepers versus the apple bottom DeJeans. We've got Drake May playing against Cleveland at home. They haven't been home in like 4 weeks, so that is pretty crazy for them. I'm sure this is going to be a nice change of pace, and hopefully they can show out for the home crowd.
Cleveland, man.
Yeah, it's Cleveland though. That's a tough defense. We'll see what Will Campbell can do against Myles Garrett. That should be an interesting matchup to watch. We've got Achan going versus a tough Falcons defense, and the Dolphins have been terrible so far, so we'll see what happens with that for them. Justin Jefferson going tonight for Corey, and he's got some Monday night action with Kelsey and Hunt, who he's just not giving up on these guys here. Still has to change Foyesade Aluakun out for a different IDP guy, but he's got DeJean on his bench, so that could work out for him there. If he swaps him in, he should be projected to be right about the same. What do you think about Artie's team?
Um, well, man, I was teed up for a Corey question. I was just seeing how Aaron Jones may or may not play Thursday night, but he'll know whether or not he's going in. He could decide to bench Hunt for Aaron Jones. I feel like that's a pretty good
Probably a good move.
upgrade there. Not that he'll know, care, or listen, but um, I'm on the record saying it now. On Artie's side, I mean, he's got A-Rod going out there this week. His Jets stack has blown up. It's gone.
Hmm.
Justin Fields bench, Garrett Wilson injured, and his Jared Goff is on bye. So He's got plenty of buys. St. Brown and Goff, that stack's not happening. So he's got A-Rod going. No stack, but Dobbins into Dallas is pretty good. I'm sure DeAndre Swift into Baltimore is not going to be too bad either. Stephon Diggs, part of, Drake May doesn't have to operate through Diggs. He can. And if he does, then Corey's probably in trouble here. I like Olave into Tampa Bay too. There's all
Olave's
kinds
been
of Q
great this
tags.
season.
I guess that's probably just Wednesday or Thursday kind of veteran rest. But yeah, Olave has been fantastic. I mean, the big issue with him is he had concussion stuff. He seems to have, come away from that. He's a little cross-eyed now. Probably from all the concussions. The worst, the not as great kind of cross-eyed, the worst kind of cross-eyed. No. Anyway, out looks crazier than in my opinion.
Frog-eyed.
But anyway, no, lots of stuff here. I don't like Nico Collins until Houston can really figure their stuff out. I don't know if he's just good for it. San Fran's defense looked good last week. They could build on that. I don't think it was just Atlanta being bad. Parsons into Pittsburgh. Again, there's your IDP sacking your quarterback.
So he's playing both sides. That way he always comes out on top.
That's right. I don't know. I don't see enough in Corey's tank to pull something out here. I like all the matchups better. I don't like Achane this week. Jefferson and the Chargers could be pretty good. We got DK catching passes from Aaron Rodgers. We got cross team stacking here. And we got Drake May catching for Stephon Diggs. So I think that's an interesting foil.
Therefore, it all comes down to Cam Scattaboo.
Yeah, for sure. At Philly, coming off of a very hard loss, I'm sure they'll have chips on their shoulders, going to go do what they just did a week prior to Philly, just this time in their own house. This one should be interesting to watch. I think this will be close, but I think Artie probably ekes it out.
In my heart, I hope it's a wet noodle fight, but I think it's better for me if Corey loses this one, so therefore Corey will win this one convincingly 2-0, and Artie will drop another deuce. That's what I am predicting there.
You're just hedging the fact that it's gonna hurt a lot less if you can at least say you were right about it.
Yeah, there we go. And if I'm wrong about it, then it's good for me. So I'm playing both sides now.
It's the Trap House bye week.
It's the Trap House quote unquote bye week against the Retardinals because they are missing just about their whole team here. No, Jesus, even his linebackers out. Puka Nakua's out. Jackson Smith and Jigba's out. Bam Knight is out. Ashton Genty's out. Sam Darnold is
The entire
out.
bench of buys.
Yeah, so that's Tyrod Taylor getting plugged in to start versus Cincy. Chuba Hubbard getting put back in, even though his backfield work is getting split with Rico Dowdle. Depending on Bill here, he's got the double Panthers going in this one versus Buffalo, which is not a matchup you normally want to target. Rashad White still getting fired up versus New Orleans. Njoku, I don't even know if he's going to play. Okay, he had a limited practice. He might be making his return here.
That's tough. I don't think Sal's
flex.
Yeah, I don't think Sal is thinking about winning here. I think Sal's thinking about just these are the guys I have available. They're gonna play. What happens, and hopefully my points for doesn't suffer too bad because of it. I don't think he wants to mess with his roster. It's kind of a losing battle to try to scrape together the right guys to play and lose your bye guys and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Hopefully Njoku's healthy, but it's in a flex, so he could plug anyone in there. And then on the other side, I think the Trap House is all but full strength here.
Yeah, and he's got Rico Dowdle going too, which is the other part of that Panthers stack that we talked about. And he's also got James Cook going in the same game, so
yeah,
that 1
Rico's been better.
Rico has just been better.
And Buffalo used to not target them, but their defense is actually just not what it was a year ago, 2 years ago. They lost a lot of those pieces, and they haven't been able to just like reforge a solid defense, which is kind of part of the reason why Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills have looked a little suspect lately, I think. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's a lot of the same old here for the Trap House. I think maybe we see an upset here if Dak and Jake Ferguson aren't connecting against Denver, but I kind of have a hard time seeing that. It's in Denver. There's that. Maybe Dak is gets Nick Bonito'd quite a bit. Again, another linebacker versus your quarterback here. It is the meta. You're just behind.
I guess
Um,
everyone's doing that.
there's no way there's a Cincy edge rusher here. Okay. Just want to make sure Tyrod Taylor
It's
wasn't also
Trey
getting.
Hendrickson. Yeah. No.
Yeah, he's out there. He's on waivers. I think he's injured. Um, but if he's not, Luke, maybe that's your guy. He's gonna put Tyrod on the ground. Um, uh, I mean, I called it in the beginning. This is just. It seems like a bye week. Chris is gonna have to really underperform, um, which would be great for us. But I don't see it happening. I think Sal is taking his licks here. He's got plenty of cushion to do it, and he'll look to come into week 9, fear strong and off bye for everyone to take down the sleepers. A projection preview.
Double preview. Yeah, it's a rough one for him. I'm hoping he pulls it out though. That would be cool.
Hey, any given Sunday,
Could
Tyrod Taylor
definitely
might throw
happen
5
for him.
touchdowns.
Right. Hey, you could just
To
totally touchdown scam him.
Alan Lazard, touchdown scams.
Yeah, he could totally just touchdown scam the crap out of him there, and that would really be scam of the century there. All right, that's all of our matchups for week 8 here. Got a good picture of what's happening there. Definitely been an exciting first half of the season. A ton of stuff changing already from what we originally thought. The preseason report card that I gave for everyone is hilariously wrong and off balance, but that's, I guess, a story for a different time here. But is there anything that you wanted to leave these guys with our mid-season message here, Ricky?
You just still anyone's game. First half, second half. I've said it all before. Go Sorcerers. Down with the conglomerate, and go Hogs a little bit.
Go Hogs, that's right. All right, well,
Mostly go Sorcerers.
on that note, I think it's time to send you guys off. I hope you enjoy your Thursday, enjoy your week, enjoy the game tonight. Chargers, Vikings should be a good one. DFL football, let's get it, boys.
Thank you for listening to the DFL Breakdown. Tune in next week for more.